Well, welcome to Quick Wins for ADHD Moms. Hey, I'm Jess. Today, I am thrilled to have with us today Miriam Ortiz y Pino, a certified professional organizer, simplicity expert, and streamlined business coach with morethanorganized.net. For over 2 decades, Miriam has been helping entrepreneurs and creative types like us achieve more by removing the stuff that stands in our way. I have a lot of stuff that stands in my way, so I'm excited to chat with you about that. Well, coming from a family that's lived in New Mexico for 15 generations, Miriam brings a unique perspective to organization and business coaching. She's worked with everyone from artists to politicians to multimillionaires, helping them break free from self-defeating patterns and create the lives they truly, truly want. As one of the first certified professional organizers in the world and a fire starter facilitator, Miriam understands that clutter is only part of the story. So today she's here to share her insights on designing simple systems that actually work. Welcome to the show, Miriam. I'm excited about having you.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. So that's great.
Yes. Well, on our show, we always jump in with a quick win for ADHD moms. So I would love to
hmm
hear if you have like a tip or something that we can take and make actionable right away.
Yeah, if you're not using timers that are more analog than digital or that have a digital countdown, you're really missing out. So when we use a timer, it actually helps our brain process time differently and it'll keep you more focused. Um, and the second part of it is it keeps you from going off the rails for the whole day. If something rings every 20 minutes or, 10 minutes, if you're a little more severe, then you have that opportunity to refocus again. It like reminds you, oh, right, I was doing this. And it can take practice, but it does build over time. You start saving a lot more time because you're aware of your time in a different way. And it helps your kids too.
I love that. And I love that it helps kids as well. We have one of those little
Yeah.
Pomodoro clocks that has
Yep.
it's like a color timer.
Yep. Those are
Um,
perfect. Those are the probably the best way to begin getting your brain to visualize time differently.
yeah, my daughter was like, she would take an hour to put away 3 pairs of pants. And
Right.
so she got the timer and she's like, I cannot believe she has complete time blindness. And we
Yeah.
laugh, but we're like, it's a thing. And so she realized
Mhm.
watching the color disappear.
Yep. And it really, yeah, I mean you lose hours if you don't do that.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
to this
absolutely.
day, I set my timer for every 20 minutes on a day when I really have to be aware of my time. I don't always on days I have a little more free flow, but I do have things in place that stop me so that I can reset at various points. But while you're learning, I think every 20 minutes is a good
That's a good starting
thing to go for.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I get hyper focused on something. And so I'll set a timer, but then I'll be like, oh no, but I'm really, really into this.
But
And it's
that's
hard to
the
switch.
beauty of the timer. It goes off, and if you are hyper focused and you're cranking and you have the flexibility, you just set it again for another that set amount of time, and you check in. It's designed to give you the check-ins so you can make better decisions about what you're working on and for how long.
I love that. And I know with ADHD brains, having outside structure is so important because
Mhm.
our brains are just wired kind of different. And that's what makes us so creative
Mhm.
and fun. But I like that 20 minutes and it gives you that, oh, this was 20 minutes and this was another 20 minutes, like chunks of time.
It could also help your brain do the gamification thing. Like, how much can I get done in 20 minutes? How much can I get through? Or how, oh, I can rest or I can watch YouTube or I can do something else for 20 minutes and not feel like I lost my whole day. So it works on both ends of it.
I love that. Well, you
Yeah.
are a professional, certified professional organizer, and I would love to hear your thoughts on, you help people get organized
Yeah.
and get rid of stuff. So, what
Right.
kind of stuff do you see most often?
I see a lot of stuff that was designed to help people do something that didn't work. So all those bottles of shampoo and lotion that you didn't like when you tried it, all those kitchen gadgets that were supposed to save you hours, but cleaning them takes longer, all
Yep,
those
I have those.
containers that were supposed to keep you organized. It's never the container. It's all in your mind. You can be completely organized without a single container in your home. It's about what's in your way. And there's a lot of stuff that's about identity. Like, I'm a mom now. So you buy everything on a mom list. And then you're like, well, that didn't work, or I
Really
didn't
need
use
that.
that, or my kid wasn't interested. So it's really about, especially for ADHD people, cutting back to the essentials and then, and only then, adding back in things that are nice to haves.
Well, then what are essentials? I feel like with an ADHD
This
brain,
is
it's like
for,
everything is essential.
but it's not, because we haven't learned discernment. So we need food, we need shelter, we need sleep, we need, a little bit of hygiene, we need food, we need water, we need exercise, we
So
need
basic, basic,
companionship.
basic.
Yeah. You go to the basics and then you say, okay, well, I'm a mom. Okay, what would facilitate moms? Diapers, a couple snack things.
Always snacks.
But like now we have so many single purpose things that it
Oh,
zapped our creativity. We don't have to think anymore about, well, how would I
wow.
solve this? So it doesn't allow our brains that love to solve problems solve any problems. It just allows our brain to put money down on something that's supposed to solve it for us, which is a different use of our brain. And I think that some of that has really led to the increase in ADHD.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, our brains are designed for a different kind of life that we actually are living. And so you got to put in the little pieces that will help your brain be occupied while you do the day-to-day mundane activities.
Yeah. So, what are those things that we need to be putting in place?
Yeah, I think it's our senses. It's how we process information and our senses and how we take in information. So we're a very visual society. So it's all about the visual. But what about the sound? I mean, I've got music, either binaural beats or meditative mind type stuff going in the background at all times, or the TV. Watching TV while you do homework is not bad for everyone. Some people need it in the background to be that
White
trigger
noise.
that it distracts that part of our brain that will be searching for something to solve,
Yeah.
and allows us to focus. So I think sound is really important, and I think scent. So diffusing a couple scents throughout the house, if you want to be more focused or if you want to be a little more relaxed, are helpful as well. But it's also tactile. So, fidgets do work, but does it have to be another thing? And do you need 87 of them? Or do you need one that you use consistently? I don't have fidgets, but I have a chair that moves and is on rollers, and I can do all my movement. I'm always tapping my feet. I'm always twisting my rings. I wear rings to twist.
Yep.
And so it doesn't have to be extra stuff that solves these problems. It has to be our way of understanding why we do certain behaviors.
That's interesting. Do you think some ADHD brains maybe anchor more in music compared to scent, compared to textiles?
Probably. But that's why you got to experiment just a little bit
Yeah.
and create rituals. So every morning I have my routine where I turn on the music, I put on the scent, I do the movement. If I don't exercise every morning before I sit down at my desk, I'm just a scattered mess.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I know.
Yeah.
Without that anchor.
And clutter itself, people are like, oh, it's not that big a deal. It is so distracting because of that problem solving thing in our brain. We'll always be like, how can I fix that? That thing is annoying me. What am I doing? Why is that stuff over there? I should go look at that. I should do another load of laundry. What am I doing over here? Why is there? Oh, I can't focus on this. I've still got to take care of that. It's because you have a bunch of stuff that's not being taken care of.
Yep.
if you get rid of the stuff or the excess stuff, then you feel more confident that you know what you have, where it is, and how to take care of it. And so that becomes routine. You're not distracted by all the stuff you have to do. You know it's taken care of. You have a plan. You know where it goes. You know how to do the steps involved for the care of that item.
So much of it is visual cues. And so I
Yeah.
will leave like right now. I
Mhm.
got most of the dishes done because I gamified it, trying to get the dishes in before the boys got on the bus. But I
Right.
still have a couple extra left. So it's like a visual reminder of, okay, I'm not done yet. I need to finish that. And I have a whole
Hmm.
bunch of laundry that I dump out on my bed
Hmm.
because visual reminder, like, hey, I need to do laundry today. But I scoop it up and put it back in the baskets and then get up the next morning and dump it back out. So, like all of these
Hmm.
visual reminders, how do you stay organized while also being able to trigger that visual memory?
Yeah. So when you clear out the clutter part, the visual cues work much better with the stuff you do have to take care of. So that's number one. Um, and number two, it might not need to be that drastic. Maybe you just leave one shirt on the bed instead of the whole basket full of stuff.
Right.
Or you have an alarm set that actually says do laundry as the label on the alarm. Or you get in the routine of every Monday you do laundry,
Yeah.
or every Tuesday, or every, sometimes with families it makes more sense to do a load every night, whatever. But
Right, depending on how many is in your family and how often in
exactly.
sports and
Yeah. Um, but having a system of how you're going to do laundry, how you're going to process everybody's laundry, who folds what, at what point do they take responsibility for their own clothes versus how much mom does,
Ooh,
right?
that's good. Yeah, because sometimes it's
Yeah.
just easier for mom to just take care of it.
Let's put it this way. We say it's easier in that exact moment,
Yeah.
but over the years, that not taking 10 minutes to teach your kid how to put their clothes away or fold their clothes means you are having to spend hours a week taking care of it for them. Not
Mhm.
time saving, not
Yeah.
freedom, not loving and caring,
Mm.
because then they get to college and they don't know how to use a washing machine and they don't know how to fold their clothes. And then they call me when they're 35 and they're a mess.
Right, he's like, "I can't come over there right now and do your laundry. You need to watch a YouTube video, figure it out."
Right. So is it really easier or is it just control?
Total control.
Yeah.
I will admit I'm one of those controlling moms. It's really hard for me to let go
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, can you please just at least let's start with taking this pile up to your room." And then I do that, and it's like, "Well, he took it to his room, but it's not in the
Right.
drawer."
You got to teach them every step of your process. And that's where you get the control. I'm teaching them my way of doing it. They can
Right.
adapt it later, but they got to learn my way first. I think is a really good way of looking at it.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned setting up structures. How do you
Mhm.
approach setting up that structure when it feels
Mhm.
like, okay, there's no structure and I know I need to just maybe put one thing of laundry on my bed instead of everything. But where do you start when you're trying to piece together structure?
Yeah. So I think of essential home systems. So it's a like a flexible structure that you get to put your own spin on, but applies to everybody. So there has to be something about clothing because it's one of the essentials, right? What's your plan for clothing, laundry, shopping for the clothing, rotating out the clothing that no longer serves? What is that process for the family, right? And it touches on linens as well. So I think of linens as part of the laundry
The process.
system,
Hmm.
which is really the clothing, the outfitting, if you will.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense.
and then there's the food. We got to shop for food. We have to store the food. We have to cook the food, prepare the food, cook the food, store the leftovers,
Yep.
rotate the expired and moldy stuff out. And then we got to go to
Hmm.
the store again, right? So what do you need to do each of those steps? What works for you?
Okay.
Um, and then there's the money there's the cleaning, and there's, as part of cleaning, I think of home maintenance. And then there's the fun.
Don't forget the fun, right?
Right. There's always the fun.
And don't only focus on the fun.
Right. Where are you going to store those archery supplies? I always laugh because I actually had a family that was like full on archery enthusiasts and trainers and teachers and stuff. And there was just like bows and arrows and targets everywhere.
And you organized it. You found a way.
I did. But I love that framework because that applies to every single family. And it's adaptable to every specific situation, like archery or someone with special needs or someone that's a single parent household versus a 2-parent household. All of those things can be accommodated and expanded or contracted depending on your situation.
I love that. And I've never really thought about basically taking a step back and looking at all these buckets maybe, or all these, like I envision like circles, of all the things that need to get done, and realize that each bucket or each circle has its own system.
Mm-hmm. And once you set up the system, then you can do the process. So, okay, well, what will I do to go grocery shopping? Well, am I going to write the list here? Am I going to keep it in the phone? Am I going to, when I grab the last of something, I add the basics back to the list? Am I going to do meal planning? Am I not going to do meal planning? Like, you get to do all that. But thinking in terms of daily, weekly, monthly, and occasional kind of chores or maintenance things, it's actually easier to go to the gas station every Friday and fill up, whether you need it or not, than it is to wing it. Because your brain will forget and then you run out of gas, or you're like freaked out because you're running late because you got to go get gas. But if you just have it built in, it takes less time overall.
Yeah. And it takes a lot less of that overload in your brain.
Yeah, you don't have to think about it anymore. Once you create habits, you are not using energy to get those things done. Or the amount of energy is microscopic compared to, oh my God, I forgot all about this. Now I got to do this. And now I got to think through all the steps. And now I got to, I don't even have the stuff I need to make that food. And then I got to go to the store. And then, like, that's what happens to ADHD brains, right?
Oh, yes. Even though I know.
It's time for dinner. Let me go to the pantry and get the 12 ingredients, make it, serve it, go. Oh, I used up the last of the parsley. I'll add it to the list, whatever it is. But it just takes a different amount of energy when you think it through ahead of time and adapt it for efficiency as you learn it.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic to think about it that way, because I feel like, oh my gosh, laundry again? It's like, well, yes.
Simplify laundry. What would, like, you get to use that problem solving part of your brain. You can gamify it. You can structure it, and then you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah. And I find listening to my favorite music or watching my favorite show on Netflix or Apple TV while I'm folding laundry I'm able to say, okay, I can't watch that show unless I'm folding laundry. And so it kind of pairs it with something fun to something that's just physical,
Yeah,
movement.
Exactly. And a lot of these mundane everyday chores don't require a whole lot of brain power. So if you do them, it gives your brain a chance to calm down or solve a different problem or get creative or think through personal growth items.
Yes. No, that's huge. I think with ADHD brains, there's a whole lot of personal growth happening that you will find yourself in because you have to at some point.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah. Well, one last question for you before you go. Yeah. I know you simplify everything. So do you have a secret to keeping everything simple?
Well, we were talking before we started recording, and it is simple, but it's not easy. And that is, you have to figure out who and how you want to be. And then you only have those things in your life. You can explore things, but explore with the knowledge that just because you take something on today doesn't mean you have to keep those things forever. So it's really about discernment of, is it something you actually love, or is it something you like, or is it something someone gave you and you love that person, or is it something you think you should be doing, how does it actually fit you and what you want out of life and who and how you want to live your life? It's all about discernment.
All about discernment. And I think what's hard with that is that the guilt that comes with, but if I get rid of all those dishes that my mom had,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like, am I getting rid
Well,
of her?
so ask
you know, no, I'm
questions in a
not.
fun and exaggerated way. So, will your mom not love you anymore if you get rid of the dishes? Will you forget your mom if she's already passed by getting rid of the dishes? Are you going are the dishes your your style, your fit for your purposes? I mean, my mom thinks she's a great gift giver, but she's not. Every time she gives me something, she's like all excited. And I'm always a
Aw,
little bit inside, like, my mother doesn't know me at all.
what am I going to do with
Yeah, I
this?
know. And so that's where the discernment comes in. It doesn't mean she doesn't love me. It doesn't mean she
Yeah.
doesn't try. It means she always puts her own spin on it. So, um, it doesn't it also doesn't mean you don't have to get rid of every single piece of those dishes. What if you love the
Mm,
teapot from that set? Or what if you love the mugs or that bowl? You get rid of everything else and keep the one part of it that you like or would be useful for you.
yeah, and it frees up so much space.
Or you use small bowls and teacups and things for storing jewelry or organizing your drawers. And then every time you open that drawer, you're like, oh, thanks, Mom.
I love that idea. I
Yeah.
love the repurposing idea and the story
Mhm.
behind it that brings it all together.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
so much more fun than a stupid plastic container from the dollar store.
yes. True. I love that. So I so appreciate your time in talking about this, and we just
Mhm.
need outside systems getting out of our brain. And I love that idea of the different buckets, and each bucket has its
Mhm.
own process. And if you can figure out your own process. Now with me, my memory can be really bad, and I
Mhm.
literally forget the process. Do you have
You
any
have to write
clients?
it down.
Yeah, I have to write it down.
I mean, the old school way is to do it on index cards. Like Mondays, this is the card I pull out. Tuesdays, this is the card I pull out. First of the month, I add this card.
I love, and it's simple, right? Like we don't need a new app for that.
No, you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to recreate the wheel every time. If you can't figure out the process on paper, an app won't solve your problem. And an app rarely solves your problem because it solved the problem of the person that created the app,
Mm.
who doesn't think the same way you do.
Right. Yes. But their marketing team is great. And I just bought it because it was shiny.
I know.
You
Now, having
know,
said that, I haven't tried the Skylight calendar and I'm intrigued. But
I am intrigued as well. I have looked at that and I think, is that just another something that I have to keep charged?
well,
And will my
yes,
children
but I
break it?
feel like it's a little more static so it stays plugged in. But how is it
Right.
different than screencasting a Google Calendar to your TV?
Right. Or we were looking at getting one of those little Alexas with the screen on it, and you can put your
Yeah,
Google Calendar into that because I do everything on
right.
Google Calendar.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense
But I
for
don't know.
families.
It does make sense, and the kids can
But
look at the schedule.
thinking through which aspects of which features would make your life easier. Like every time you go to the calendar, what's the part that is always messed up? And then you look at the new option and evaluate their features against that, solving that problem that you already have. But again, if you can't do it with a calendar hanging on the wall, how is an
What's the
app
real
going to help you
problem?
with that?
Yeah, what's the real problem? I like that. And a lot of it is mindset
Yes,
too. Yeah,
it's all figure outable. We
I
just
love
have
it.
to actually think about who and how we want to be.
I love that. Think about who and how you want to be and build from there.
Yes.
Build your systems from there. I love it. Well, Miriam, I appreciate our time together. I appreciate your thoughts. If someone was interested in finding more about what you do or just learning more
Mhm.
from you, where can they go and how can they find you?
Yeah, the best place is just to go to my website, morethanorganized.net. I am also on YouTube, More Than Organized, Facebook, More Than Organized, LinkedIn,
Easy
More
to
Than
find.
Organized. But the website will take you to all those other places directly as well. There's free resources. I'm putting together a membership site. So if you want to find out more about that, you can get on the wait list. That should be launching January-ish. Yeah,
That's
there'll
exciting.
be
So
some bonuses if you sign up ahead of time. But
lots of exciting things happening for you too, and just being able to help people.
yeah, and I very much appreciate being able to share my knowledge and expertise with your audience, because the more
We
people
need
that
it.
hear about this, the less we have to hear people complain about how much they have to do.
Yeah. No, there's solutions. There's solutions. And saying no is
A
huge.
complete sentence.
A
No.
complete sentence. Yeah. And I'm learning that every day too. So, well, thanks again, Miriam. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Jess. Appreciate it.